Yeah. So yesterday we started discussing our shell script, okay, and then Git. Yeah, so we started discussing shell script as well as Git parallelly because we are developing something. We need to store it inside the central repository. Otherwise, there are a lot of disadvantages. So the environment setup we discussed is in your laptop. You will install Visual Studio Code. There we will develop the scripts and then we will push it to the remote repository, that is GitHub. And in our Linux server inside AWS account, we will pull it and then we will run those shell scripting in Linux servers. Okay, you can always use Windows laptops for development purpose. That is nothing but IDE integrated development environment, because developing inside Linux servers is very difficult. That is not flexible. So developing in Windows laptops with more graphics and user interface is flexible, and pushing the code to the remote repo so that the code is secured. And we have a lot of advantages of the GitHub as well. So let us just discuss something on GitHub and we can have a simple recap as well. Okay. Yeah, so you should always use version control system, okay, or source code management in software. Why? Because you can go back to previous version. For example, Android has a lot of versions, okay, but you can always go back to the previous version. Right now, if you are running 19 version, you can always go back to 18 version if there is some defect. So that is why you should always have version control to your code and track the changes. So you can always track who is doing what. If you have a team of 10 developers, you can always track which developer is working on which line of code. Okay, so that is also possible in Git. And review the changes before you going for production deployment or production release. You can always review the changes through pull requests. That is also an advantage of Git. And security and backup. So it is not always recommended to keep the code in your laptop so that it may crash at any time. And that's a security problem also, keeping the code in developer laptops. Okay, and then branching. So when you are going for another release, you don't touch production code. Actually, you will create another branch. It is like on one more copy, you do the changes in the latest branch and then you will match it. And collaboration. So 10 developers or 20 developers or hundreds of developers are working for a single product. So this Git is used a central place where you can, all developers can push their code, and this is where it will be integrated. So there are a lot of advantages, and it is mandatory to use version control system. And before, till 2010, till the Git is created, okay, we have something called SVN. So that is this is centralized version control system. Okay, so the person who created Linux, like Linus Torvalds, he is the one who created Git as well. These two are the greatest inventions in software industry. Okay, Git as well as Linux, both are created by Linus Torvalds. Before Git, we had something called SVN, subversion control. You don't need to understand, because from last 10 years it is already outdated. Okay, but this is the example for centralized version control system. Yesterday I discussed the things on centralized capital. So if you keep everything like IT sector, industrial sector, and cinema industry, everything in a single location, like in a single city, if there is a natural disaster, then everything is gone. Okay? Entire your economy will go down. So there, it is always preferred like decentralized capital. So in US, we have a lot of cities like New York, California, Washington. So the development is decentralized. You should not keep everything in a single place. Why? Because if there is a natural disaster, only one industry will go down. Remaining industries can save us, can save the people. Okay, so that is the concept of centralized and decentralized. The same concept, SVN followed the centralized thing. Okay, if this SVN goes down, you cannot. There is no chance to get the history back. Okay, but in terms of in distributed environment, first in your laptop, you will send it into the staging area, from staging area to local repo. So this repo is exactly same as the remote repo. Okay, so each and every laptop which is connected to that repository have the same copy. So that is called as distributed. Okay, you are distributing the same copy into multiple computers, multiple servers, multiple laptops, whatever. Okay, so single source of failure, that is the main disadvantage of centralized version control system. Okay, and you will have limited offline access. It means, so whenever you want to push, you have to push directly to the SVN server, but here you can commit, so you can keep the same history into local repo until the internet is connected to your laptop. When internet is connected, you can push to the central remote server. Okay, yeah, and risk of data loss. So what is the problem here with SVN is, so we have staging area here for some purpose. For example, if you're working on user module, so user module has multiple things: sign up, as well as login, as well as forgot password. So it has multiple things. In case of SVN, okay, there is no chance of temporary area. Okay, you have to push everything. You can't select. So for example, developer on day one, he completed sign up module. He want to test, or your clients want to test. Now in Git, what you can do here is, can just add git add signup.java. Remaining two files like login.java and forgot password.java, you may be in progress. Okay, so this is completed and this is in progress. And this is also in progress. But in SVN, you cannot select, and you cannot select only signup.java, and you cannot push like that. You have to push everything. If you push everything, these are in progress, not completed. The functionality is broken. Okay, but in terms of Git, you are only sending signup.java. So that is why first you are sending it to the staging area. From here, you are doing a one more commit, doing commits to the local repo. This is the local repository, and the same setup you are pushing it to the central repo. So that is why the staging area is very useful in terms of decentralized version control system. Developers can selectively send the updates to central repo. Now it will go there into the GitHub, and you can only release this signup.java. You can only deploy that. So that is the main advantage. Okay, so there is no temporary area or staging area in centralized version control system. Okay, and you will have more advantages with branches and many other features. Pull requests that anyhow we are going to discuss as part of our Git. Okay, yeah. So on yesterday we created a repository, and then we discussed few commands, that is git add file name is the first command you should run, that is to add files to staging area. And then git commit -m, it means message, gives a meaningful message here. Okay, so that everybody understand why you edited this. So this will commit to local repo. Git push origin and master. So this will push changes to central repo. Okay, so these are the steps. So you can always clone, git clone URL. Okay, this will clone the code. So these are the steps yesterday we followed, and then authentication. When you are pushing, this will ask for authentication. And for the first time, if you are using Git in your laptop, it will always ask for setting up the username and email. You have to set up that username and email so that everybody can recognize you, who did this changes, who developed this. Okay, so these are the commands yesterday. Okay, we followed. So now this is like browser based login. Today we will discuss on SSH authentication to GitHub. Okay. So you know SSH authentication to Linux server. You will import the public key, or you will import the public key into the Linux, and you will always connect with private key. So that is SSH-I and then private key and username @IP address. So this will take your private key and username, and it will connect to the IP address of the server. Then the authentication will be successful. Similar way, you can use SSH access to your GitHub. Okay. So how can we do that? We will discuss now. So this is our GitHub server. So always remember, in servers, you always keep the public key. So you will keep the public key here. Okay. And you have your laptop. So in your laptop, you need to store private key somewhere. Okay. And when authentication is happening, these two will connect. So in your laptop, you need to configure SSH to authenticate GitHub. Okay. So this is always flexible. You no need to give the password and login again and again once you set up this. Okay. So that is the advantage. Okay. What we can do now here is, so inside our GitHub server. So I hope you all guys signed up with GitHub. Okay. So let's go to the GitHub here. And then, yeah. So here inside your GitHub account, there is a settings. Here there is something called SSH and GPG keys. So first step, SSH authentication to GitHub. The first step is import the public key in GitHub server. Okay. So you can use any public and private key mechanisms. Okay. So like, as I said, you can have single key, public key and private key pair for this entire training. You can use any pair. Okay. For example, on your username, on your name, you can create one key, that is SSH-keygen. Okay. SSH-keygen and -f, what is the file name, and you just give, it will give public key and private key, right? So I have one on my name. You can use this. You can keep this public key and private key for your entire career in your software industry. Okay, because this is a pay, you can use it anywhere you want, but you need to secure it. That is your responsibility. Okay, I'm opening the public key. So this one I need to import. Make sure you don't have new lines like this. Okay, make sure your cursor is at the end. You need to import into our GitHub. Okay, I already have one. It's fine. I'm going to create another SSH key. You can give some title. Okay, my personal laptop. So here just give one title and then you give your public key, add SSH key. Lost for password, just enter it and then confirm. It is saying it's already in use, it's fine, no problem. So the first step, import the public key in GitHub server. And second step, .ssh folder is there in your user directory. In user directory. So here, create a file called config. That's it, no extensions. No extensions like config.txt, nothing like that. So just file name should be config. Okay, let's go to our user directory. In user directory, there is SSH, and here there is something called config. I'm renaming it for something else now. Okay, create new file, config, and remove all the extensions. There should not be any extension, just config. Okay, open this file. So, and the syntax here to keep is, so like this. Okay, for example, let me take this. So this is the syntax. This is the tab space, okay? Host github.com. Can remove this. Host github.com. And what is the host name? github.com. So there is some difference between these two. I'll show you. So user is Git. By default, when you are accessing with SSH, then the user is always Git. And what is the private key? So I'm saying this is the private key like this. Because I uploaded. One second. Because I uploaded sivakumarreddy.pub into the GitHub. So I should always refer the matching private key, sivakumarreddy.peb. So that is why I'm giving here. This is the identity file. Okay, it is an SSH folder. You can keep it anywhere, but you need to give the full path here. Okay, sivakumarreddy.pem. This means home folder. See users and then your username. This tilde symbol. So this is the syntax. Okay. So now if you have multiple GitHub accounts, then you should do like this. Okay. So if you have multiple GitHub accounts, now this one, this is comment. Okay. So this is for TAWS 74s. So this account is for right now, whatever I'm using. I have one more GitHub account. So at that time, you need to show little difference here. Inside here, you can just keep something what we kept here like this hyphen something just to differ it. Okay. Another account. So if you have multiple GitHub accounts, if you have single GitHub account, this is fine. You should not duplicate this one. It means this is your account related to this one, and inside you are mentioning all the details, host name and github.com. So I'll just keep this syntax. SSH authentication. The steps are import the public key into GitHub server. Second step, create a file called config in .ssh folder inside user directory. So mention the follow the below syntax. Syntax. Okay. So if you have multiple accounts, you need to just give something here, github.com - something, whatever. Okay. By default, user is Git. Identity file you should mention here. That's it. So this is the configuration from your laptop side. Okay. Yeah. So now this is done. Now we need to test the connectivity. So what I do here is, so yesterday we created the repo in GitHub server. Now today we will see an approach. If you have existing folder, how can you push to GitHub? Okay, so this is the one we will discuss today. First thing, I have an existing repository called concepts. I want to push this to the GitHub. How can you do this? So go to the directory. Okay, you are inside the directory. I have the files here. First thing is git init. Git init, what it will do, it will initialize the folder as git repository. Now, if you just see ls-la, so there is a hidden directory called .git. If you have this, then it is considered as a git repository. Okay, git init is nothing but initializing this folder as git repository, and there is a folder created .git. You can go inside .git, and then here there will be something called config. Okay, so this means this folder is considered as git directory. Okay, just come one step back. So we have our files you initialized. So first step is git init. Second step, create repo in GitHub server. Okay, so now I'll create repo in GitHub server. Okay, this is concepts. Okay. Public, and then create repository. Okay, I created. So now there are two types of authentication, HTTPS and SSH. So we are following our SSH authentication, right? So copy this. You can see the commands also here, git init, and then you need to add this, git remote add origin. Third step, connect git local repo and central repo. So that is just like adding the origin. So you are telling your GitHub, this is the origin, you have to push all your files. That is what you are telling here. Okay. Yeah. So inside config, this is fine. You need to just run this command. When you run this, what happened here? It is stored inside the config. it is just stored as origin, under origin. Okay. So now you have something like git add command. You just say git status, it will show you. So these are not added to the GitHub. You can say git add, dot means adding everything, not a single file, add everything. And then git commit. Give some meaningful message, okay? So at the time of practice, we cannot spend more time on the typing. So I'm just giving something generally. So you are adding it to the staging area and you are committing into the local repo. And finally, you are pushing it. Git push origin master. Okay. So it is saying some error here. So authentication is failed. So we are passing this PEM. I uploaded the public key. It is incorrect path, I think. No, yeah, it is not inside that. Okay, so it is inside the path is here. I don't. Oh, I already copied here. I think Sivakumareddy.pem. Okay, this is fine. git@github.com : yeah, this github.com should match with this one. This is matched. And I uploaded the public key there. It just said duplicate. Let me delete this, not a problem. I will add again. This is my public key. My personal laptop. No spaces. Add SSH key. Key is already in use. I deleted. Let me go to organizations. Change it. Okay, let me log out and then log in once again. Okay, now go to settings. SSH and GPG keys. Now add here. Okay, so I think the keys are not directly deleted within short span of time. Let me create a new keys. Okay. SSH hyphen keygen hyphen F. So DAWS 74S, something I'm giving like this. Okay. So now I got the key pair here. This is the public key. I should update my laptop some name. Update here. Add. Okay, so this is added. And then PEM file you need to give in config. So inside config, this is not like this. This should be this one. Okay, so in my user directory, and this is the file name it should consider. Okay. Yeah. Now let's go to now let us push. Okay, sorry, the previous keys have some way, somehow it is corrupted. So this is the way. Now you can see here. Now you can see this is pushed. Okay. Yeah, so these are the steps you should always follow. Import public key in GitHub server and create a file config in .ssh folder, and then you can give the path properly. So this means user directory. So in my case, so this means /c/ users /user. This is my user directory. In your case, it may be something like your username. Okay, if you are using multiple things, then you need to add something like this. For example, I can just mention this as -t. Now, if I'm working with another GitHub account, so instead of this one, while adding the origin, okay, you just copy this. While adding the origin, what you should do here, you should give -t. That's it. Okay. So below line tells you are referring to another GitHub account. Okay, that's it. You need to add like this. But in your case, maybe you are working with only one GitHub account. So this is always fine. So this is how now we have seen two things. Already existing folder, how to convert it as a Git. So that is using git init command. And then create a repo in GitHub server, connect git and local and connect git local repo and central repo through git remote add origin command. Okay, and make sure you use SSH URL. Okay, so this is more flexible. You don't need to give username and password again and again. So you can easily push and pull. Okay. So now let us start working on our shell scripting so that you can run these commands every time. You'll get some more hands-on. Okay. So this is our shell script. Now I'm creating our first shell script, that is hello world. .sh should be the extension. Okay. And in shell script, the first line always should be like this: /bin/bash. Okay. Hashtag and then exclamatory /bin and /bash. Okay. This should be the first statement. So we call this as shebang. So why we give this is, you should inform Linux server how to execute the script. Okay. So before running something, either programming or scripting, you should always check for the syntax errors. How can you check? So this is where inside Linux servers, so there is a program called bash that will check the syntax of your script. If you don't give this, your shell script will not work. So they will ask this question in interviews: what is shebang? So shebang is the first line inside shell script. So you should inform Linux server how to execute or how to compile this script. Okay. So through shebang. So this should be the exact line. Okay. So now in shell script, you can use echo statement to print something. Echo, I'm just printing hi, hello world. I'm learning DevOps with AWS. Okay, you wrote something, you are printing. So for printing, you should always use echo, and you should keep that content inside double quotes. Okay. So now I developed something. What should I do? I should push it. Go to this shell script. Okay. And so we are using SSH authentication, right? So I'm going to change git remote add origin is the first time add. Now, if you want to change it, you can always search git remote change URL. Okay, so there is a command git remote set origin, set URL origin. Okay, you can see. So what is this? Git remote add origin is the first time you are giving it. If you give git remote set URL, it means you are changing the URL. So why we are changing? Because earlier we had HTTP. Now we are going to use SSH. Now, if you want to see, you can always go .git and config. So here you can see. So this is HTTPS URL. Okay, I want to change it. Git remote set URL origin. And what is our SSH? You can just go here. Get the URL like SSH like this. Okay, now if you run this command, your URL will be changed to SSH. Now check it. You can see. You can directly edit this file also, not a problem. But I am running through the command. So you develop something, always run these three commands. Git add dot, I mean, I'm adding everything. Git commit, some meaningful message all the time. Hello world script add. And then you push it. Okay. So now this is done. Just go here and then check. So you got your script. Okay. So now the first step is done. we developed a script and then we pushed it to the central repository. Now in your Linux server, create an instance and then you need to pull the code. Okay, let's create one instance here. I'm naming it as workstation. Take our image DevOps practice. T2.micro is enough. Retire eligible. Proceed without key pair. And select security group. Launch instance. Copy it. Will initializing. Yeah. So here I need to work with Git. So I should install a package, yum install Git command line. Okay. So, and here you can always clone with HTTPS. You no need to configure SSH again inside because we are not going to do any editing, any development inside Linux server. So this SSH, it's a public repository. You can always clone through HTTPS also. Okay, coming out of the root access. Now git clone. Okay, so you got your script. So don't edit inside the Linux server. Okay, so whenever you want to do edit something, you should always edit here and then push and pull. So that is how you should practice. Now go to your shell script folder. Here there is something already, the script. How can you execute the script? Okay, so bash script, shell script, both are same. Bash equal to shell. You can call it as bash script or shell script. Okay, sh space script name. Okay, sh space script name. So now it is printing, hello world, I am learning DevOps. Okay, so this is the first shell script we understand to write using echo statement. So now, as I said, so there are few concepts in programming or coding, whatever it is: variables, data types, conditions, loops, and functions. You take any programming language like Java, .NET, Python, Go language, React.js, Node.js, okay, anything. So every coding or every programming or scripting has only these concepts, only syntax will change. Okay. So now let us discuss on the first concept, variables. let us write one script without variables. Okay. Echo. So there are two persons, Ramesh and Suresh. Ramesh is saying, hi Suresh, good morning. And similarly, Suresh is saying, good morning, Ramesh. So like this, the conversation is going on. Okay. So now again, Ramesh will say, how are you, Suresh? Again, Suresh will say, I am good. How are you, Ramesh? Okay. So like this, the conversation is going on. Okay. So now let us push again. Same command. You add everything to the staging area, commit it. So every time you should do some meaningful message. Okay. Just change it generally and then push it. So you pushed something. Now, if you want to get the update of whatever is pushed, the command is git pull. Okay, it will pull the changes. This you can see here. So there are 7 lines added and 1 line is removed. 6 insertions, 1 deletion inside the file. Now, if you see, you can get the file as it is. Okay. Now, sh and then run the script. So you can see the conversation. So if you see what is the disadvantage here? So like this, the conversation will go for 1000 lines. Okay. Every time you need to keep Ramesh and Suresh. If there is a change in name again in future, okay, if you want to create the same conversation between another 2 persons, Sachin and Rohit, then you come here and then you have to edit at each and every place. So there is a concept called variables that follows try principle. Don't repeat yourself. And just remember this, we will use it everywhere. Dry means don't repeat yourself. So the best programming practice or best coding practice is whenever there is a duplicate, try to avoid it. So that is why we have something called variables. We all know this one generally, x equal to 1, y equal to 2, and then z equal to 3. We take this variables like this and you derive the formula in mathematics. And finally, you submit. So this is the principle we used in mathematics. These are like variables inside mathematics. The same way computer programs also implemented. If you feel anything is getting repeated again and again, create a variable and assign value to it. Okay. So this is the first thing. Wherever you are using, instead of value, replace it with variable name. Okay. So now let us see this. I'm creating a variable person1 equal to Ramesh. Person2 equal to Suresh. So this is how you create variable, just like in mathematics, x equal to 1, y equal to 2. Similarly, in shell scripting also, variable name and value. Okay, the syntax is variable name equal to value. There should not be any extra spaces. Okay, there should not be any spaces. This is wrong. This will not work. Okay, only this will work. Now, instead of Ramesh here, you can just replace as person1. Okay. Don't use values, use variable names. Then while executing shell, it will automatically fetch the value from here. So this is person2. Okay. Person2. And yeah, this dollar is important. Otherwise, this is treated as normal text. If you use dollar, then it means you are referring the variable. Okay. Dollar person1. Okay. Wherever it is Ramesh, use person1. Wherever it is Suresh, use person2. Now this means don't repeat yourself. Okay. So now in tomorrow, if this person is changed to Sachin and then Rohit, you can always change in single place that will be reflected each and everywhere. So it is always difficult, right, to change the person names in 1,000 lines of code. So instead of that, you change it a single place, everything is reflected automatically. Okay, now let us push, pull the changes, git pull. Okay, and execute. You can see shell script at runtime, it is fetching the actual values of the variables and it is showing the conversation to us. Now tomorrow, if you have to change to something like Sachin and Rohit, you can just edit here. Push the changes, pull, and then execute. Okay. So variables is the universal concept, not only in the shell script, everywhere. So it follows, don't repeat yourself strategy. If you just change it in a single central location like this, then automatically everything is reflected. That is the power of variables. Okay. So we have multiple types. One is declaring inside the script, whatever we have seen right now. And another type we will follow like date. So I'm executing date now. So it is UTC time 2:25:55 seconds. Now it is 2:26 3 seconds. Now you'll get a question how to execute a command inside shell script and take the output. Okay, so this you will get this question in interviews. So the solution is, let us write another shell script. Okay. Sorry, not TF. It's H. So the first line should be shebang. Asterisk, exclamatory, slash bin, and slash bash. Now you need to print the date. Hello, this script is executed at, you need to mention the time. So what is the time? So you will get the time through date command. Okay, so I need to run this date command inside the script. I need to capture this output. I need to show inside the script. Okay, so the way is here, date variable, $braces. So if you run a command inside this dollar and braces and brackets, you keep your command here, then what shell will do? Shell will run this command and it will store the output inside this variable called date. Okay, so now what shell will do here? Shell script run the command inside dollar and braces and stores the output into variable called date. Okay, so this is what happening in the background. Now, how you refer this variable here? Dollar date. Okay, that's it. Now again, you push and then you pull sh02 variables.sh. Okay, now you can see the script is executed at 58 seconds. Now again, if you see, the script is executed at 229 fifth second. So this is how another way of executing the command inside shell script and storing the output into a variable. Okay. So we need this generally at the time of execution because we want to understand when the time, at what time the script got executed. So this is one of the variable. And another type of variable is you can always get the values of variables from command lines. Okay. Now the same script we will take for this one. Let me take this script. Okay. So if tomorrow another Ram and Rahim, you need to come here and then change again. So instead of this, what we can do here is don't hard code the values here. Okay, and just give $1 and $2. The type we are checking here is from command line. Okay. So now what will happen? You need to give sh03 variables.sh and you should pass the values from the command line. Okay. For example, if I pass like this, Ram and Rahim. So now what will happen? Shell script will consider this as $1 and shell script will consider this as $2. Okay. And $1 it is giving to person1, $2 it is giving to person2. Okay. Now this is the first value from command line. And this is the second value from command line. Okay, so like this, you can have any number of arguments from the command line. Now let us see this. Git pull sh03 variables.sh. I'm passing Ram and Rahim. Okay, now you can see, hi Rahim, good morning. Good morning, Ram, something like this. Okay, you can use any names. This is more flexible. You no need to go inside the file and edit it. So coding best practices, you avoid the editing inside the files so that you will not do some accidental mistakes. So that is one of the best principle of coding. Try to avoid the editing inside the files. Try to do it everything from outside. So now this is one of the best principle. You are not editing anything here. You are just passing the values from here. Okay. John and Robert. Good, right? So let us take another example. So I want addition program. I want a program to add any two numbers. Okay, I want this program. So what is the best way? Instead of hard coding inside, you can just repeat this one. First statement, always asterisk, exclamatory, slash bin, slash bash. Okay, after this, any hash is comment. This is the comment. Cannot have any importance. Here we need to develop a program that can do addition of two numbers. Okay, what I will do here, I will create one variable number one. I will take the input from the user. Number two, again input from the user. Okay. So I want to add inside. So I want to add inside. So what is the generally I need to run a command inside shell to add these two numbers. Okay, I'm creating another variable sum here and then equal to dollar braces. Okay, just add number one, number two. That's it. This is the arithmetic operation. Number one, number two. Okay. Now let us push pull sh04 variables.sh 100 and then 200. Okay, I'm not printing the result here. So let us print echo addition of two numbers is dollar sum. That's it. Okay, I'm not giving dollar here because already it is given here. Pull and then yeah, now you can see. So like this, you can add anything, right? So you have successfully written a program of adding two numbers, and this is more dynamic. Your users or your customers can give the numbers whatever they want. You don't need to come here and then do the changes again and again. Okay, so this is one of the way. And another type of variables is I'm going to connect to database. So I need password. Whatever the way you give here, like if you give inside like this password, then it is exposed. Anybody can see. And if you give here from the command line also, okay, while running this command, I can see the password. Okay, so the better way is ask the user, or we can say prompt the user to enter. So you remember when I am connecting it, I'm typing password here. No one is able to see. So how is it happening in the background? Let us discuss that now. So there is something called read command. It takes the input from the terminal. Okay, so let us write this program 05 variables dot sh slash bin slash bash. Oh, I'm just telling, please enter your username. Okay, now you give read. Okay, so what will happen here? So there will be a terminal username. So this is the variable where the value of the one user entered. Okay, now just think. So this one will be printed into the terminal. Please enter your username. So when shell say this command, it will wait. The terminal will wait for something for the one user enters. For example, if I enter something, whatever the value I enter there inside the terminal, this is stored inside this variable. Okay, just to prove that, I will print username entered is dollar username. Okay, nothing complex here. So this will print, and whatever this read command will wait until the user give something and press enter. Okay, so now let us push and then pull. sh05 variables.sh, I'm executing it. Now it is printed. Please enter your username, and it is waiting for me to enter something. I am entering something like this, Sivakumar, and press enter. Okay. Now the value, whatever you entered here, it is stored in a variable called username. Similarly, let us ask for password. Please enter your password. Okay. Just take this. Read and password. Okay. Password entered is this one. Okay. So now whatever the text you enter as part of username, this is stored in username variable, and whatever the password you entered here, it is stored inside a variable called password. Then just for the proof, I'm printing in the terminal. Okay, push, and you come here, you pull. sh05 variables.sh. Please enter your username. Sivakumar is the username. And please enter your password. Sivakumar123 is the password. So this is through prompting. But there is one security mistake here. Users can see whatever you are entering in the terminal. So for that purpose, so there is a option here. Do not echo input coming from the terminal. So it will not show when you are entering. Just like this here, I am entering something, but nobody is able to see. Why? Because they implemented in background, that is this option, read-s. Okay, read-s. Then nobody is able to see whatever you are entering. Just push and pull here. Now run this again. I'm entering something you are not able to see. Okay. So I'm printing here just to show you to show you the proof, but in real time or in projects, you will never print the username and passwords like this. Okay. So this is only for validation. You should not print in the terminal. So now you have the username and passwords. Then you can use these things to connect to database. Okay. So this is another way. Now we discussed multiple ways. One is you can hard code the variables and name equal to value like this. And then you can run the commands inside the shell script and get the output into a variable. And another thing, you can get the variable values from the command line. And another thing, you can get the values from prompting. Sorry, you can get the values from prompting through the read command. So this is how you can use variables. Okay. So this is one way. And yeah, this is all about variables. So in another languages like C language, you will declare like int I equal to 0, float something I equal float a equal to 2.3, and boolean, string. So these are called as data types. So you are telling your programming or scripting what type of data you are giving. Okay, so this is integer, this is float, it means it can have decimal values like this. So this is boolean, true or false. So I hope every one of us has some little bit knowledge on the C programming. And this is string generally text, string name equal to something like this. So these are called as data types. The data types is nothing but you are informing the scripting or programming what type of data you are getting. Okay, so this is string means text based data. Boolean means true or false. Float means something like dot values, and integer means only integer, no dots, nothing. So like this. Okay, so these are the data types generally in programming languages, but in scripting we don't. Data type is not obviously. I mean, it is not important in scripting languages, but still we have shell can intelligently understand the data type. Okay, for example, so the same script, if you want to develop inside the C language, generally what you have to do is int I equal to $1 and int j equal to $2, and then int sum equal to, you should do like this, $I plus j. So you need to explicitly tell to programming language what type of data you are expecting here. Otherwise, they will throw error. But in shell, you no need to mention like this. Shell can intelligently understand. How is that happening here? You can see I didn't enter any integer. I'm not telling anything integer or float, whatever it is. Okay, but you are running it. Now, for example, if I enter 100, 200, I'm getting the result. If I enter 100 and something else, obviously you cannot add a number and text for the addition. So this is considering this as 0 automatically. And if you give another thing also like this, now it is also again considering it as 0. So obviously addition is not possible with text. So intelligently it is converting. If you are giving a real number, then it is doing the addition. If you are not giving also, it is considering it as 0. That's it. Okay, so this is the biggest advantage in shell scripting. Don't worry about data types. Shell script can intelligently understand. Okay, so there is no int, there is no float, there is no something like decimal. Everything is considered as number here. Okay, number is a general data type. And then Boolean 0 or 1. Okay. 0 means failure generally, and 1 means success. So this is the Boolean. We don't need to use anyhow. And we have another data type, that is array. Okay. What is array is it can hold multiple values. So this is the only thing. Anyhow, we don't use in shell scripting the data types, but just for the concept purpose, I am telling, don't worry about this. In real projects also, we don't use much. Okay, everything we will use like this. But array is something important generally. So what is this variable? It is holding only one value. But if you want a variable to hold multiple values, you go for array. So that is, let us write another array.sh. Yeah. The same line, /bin/bash. Okay, so here that is same, whatever the creating the variable name is same. For example, I'm creating persons. Okay, multiple persons I want to refer. The syntax is just like this. Okay. Ramesh, Suresh, and Sachin. Okay, so what is this? This is called as array. Instead of single value, it can hold multiple values. So this is useful generally. Okay, we will discuss the use cases anyhow in the upcoming sessions. Now, I want the first person. Okay. How can you do that is echo first person is dollar braces and variable name of 0. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. So this is called as index. Inside array, we always refer values with index and it starts from 0. Okay. So you have multiple values. How can you understand? How can you refer the particular value? That is through the index. Index is nothing but just a pointer. This is the 0th person. If you keep all these persons in a row, one by one, so how you refer? Like first person, second person, third person. Similarly, in programming or in coding, it is always, you always use index. It is nothing but the pointer. So he is the 0th person. He is the first person. He is the second person. Index always starts from 0. Okay, this is the universal concept. Okay. Now you push and then you execute. Go to git pull sh06 Now you can see the first person is Ramesh. Okay, similarly, the second person, person of 1. Third person, person of 2. Now, if you want all persons at a time, so then instead of 0, you just need to give at the rate. At the rate means all. That's it. Hit pull. Don't forget to pull always. Now you can see all persons. This is all persons. Yeah, you can see this is the array. So in shell scripting, only we use variables like this, variable name and value, or sometimes you go for arrays like this. Okay. Yeah, we can stop till here today. So the tasks for you is like SSH authentication, and then like existing folder, how you initialize and push to GitHub. Okay, and then start shell scripting. So the entire setup we already worked out. So if you have any errors, you can always connect to the evening doubt session. We are solving the errors. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, so this is how you develop, and then you push to the GitHub and you run inside the Linux servers. We can have few questions now. Yeah, Bhargav Kumar Alapati.
Hi Shiva, good morning.
Yeah, hi, good morning.
Hey Shiva, like if you see the SVN and Git differences you mentioned, right? There in the SVN we can select which files to commit as well, right?
SVN, are you using still SVN?
No, I used it long time back. So
Yeah, maybe at the time of my career starting, I just saw that, but I never used it.
okay.
Okay. Yeah, even I don't know. Yeah, tell me, what is the
Yeah, it's
thing here?
just a correction. Like in SVN, you can select which files to be pushed, like the Git staging as well.
Okay. Fine. It's okay.
Like
I
there
never
will be
used
some
it.
checkboxes which we can select the files which can be pushed to the main server.
Okay.
And one more thing,
Thank you so much. I never used SVN. I just read from the internet generally. Yeah.
okay. And one more thing is like in project there will be multiple repositories, right?
Yeah, correct.
So if you give origin for all of them, how can we distinguish that?
Sorry, if we give,
Uh, for the for mapping, you will be using origin, right? Origin and the remote repository URL you will be using, right?
correct.
So if there are multiple repositories on the Git, so how can we distinguish? How can Git distinguish which one to push?
So we have multiple URLs here. I pushed this one, I pushed this one as well, and I'm pushing this one as well.
Okay.
So the respective URL, you are configuring it. So simple. So you see here cat.git config. So where this is pushing? This is pushing to the shell script repository.
Okay.
Yeah, simple.
No, for everything you are giving origin, right? Origin is a via name, right?
The origin is just a name here. So you can keep anything here. You can keep something else also. You can say keep a random name, but generally it's a practice. We will mention this as origin. Okay, you can open this and then you can edit here. Instead of origin, you can call something whatever you wish. And while pushing, you need to give git push, for example, your name, Bhargav, and then master. That's it.
Okay, like if you have multiple repositories, you would be giving multiple names instead
No,
of origin.
see, this is one local repo.
Okay.
So this is the respective central repo. Don't worry about that origin. It's just a naming convention. These two are connected. So do
Okay.
you think another repository, local repository too, like concepts? Do you think these two are connected? No, because I mentioned here the URL of this central repo. Then that is why it is connected. So this origin is just a reference. Not you don't think this is origin for everything. Okay, for another folder, what is the origin here? Different repository. That's it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Jaydeep Pilli.
Yeah, Shiva. Actually, you're configuring with the SSH, right?
Yeah,
When
correct.
so, instead of like writing the config file, we can easily config with the HTTP as well, right?
HTTPS also, but every time you push, for example, we may create multiple repositories, like 30 repositories I will create. Every time you push, you need to give the password again.
Okay.
Yeah, it's your wish. Just for flexibility, I told you another concept of SSH authentication.
Yeah, okay. We can use that as well, right?
Yeah, you can use anything. Until you are connected, it is your wish.
Yes, we can connect in the anyway. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Harikishore Bandham.
Hi Shiva, good morning.
Yeah, hi, good morning.
Shiva, every time we are going to the bash, right, for pushing the code.
Correct.
So we can use the VS Code terminal set, right?
Yeah, you can use that one also. So you
Okay.
can use the terminal here. So why this is called as integrated development environment is, so you can have everything in a single. Why I'm not
Okay.
using is because I can save this space for you so that you can visible, so that it is clearly visible to you in the session.
Yeah. Okay, Shiva.
Yeah. Praveen Kottapalli.
Yeah, hi Shiva, good morning.
Yeah, hi, good morning.
Shiva, we can see that we are working with the master and local branch only, right? Uh, say for example, if you want to create one more branch from the local branch, so how can we?
We see that concept anyhow. So first, my intention is
Okay,
just to have some understanding on Git, and then we are developing. We started developing. So like you guys are joined as developers. So slowly you will understand the Git concepts also parallel to this. Okay. So after a few sessions, we'll discuss more Git concepts, and then we'll take one repository, and we can add you guys as developers to that. And some of you may be the leads. We can see how all of us can develop a script together as a DevOps team. Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Most welcome. Sattar.
Hello, hi Siva. Good morning.
Yeah, hi, good morning.
Today you have started shell scripting, right?
Yes.
Like daily you are giving some task. If we are not doing so, like what is the next step? It will.
Oh, that is your wish. Doing or not doing. I'm just telling you to do for your say for your purpose. This is
Okay.
not like a homework and then correction, right?
Okay, like previous classes we have talked about this three-tier architecture.
Correct.
Like we have to practice or just listening and or we have to practice starting from Git only.
You practice. Why I told the concept for you to practice only, right? And we practice the e-commerce
Well,
RoboShop also we configured. You practice it.
okay, sure. What is the time for doubt section? This is my like 7:30.
So every day 7:30 to 8. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Most welcome. Srinu.
Yeah, hi Shiva, good morning.
Yeah. Hi. Good morning.
Yeah, what is the difference between Git Bash and Git CMD?
Git command.
Yes.
Nothing. No difference. This is giving you some UI.
Okay.
But in
But
Linux server, we cannot have the UI, right?
Git
So
Bash,
it will give you some UI, some colors. That's it. Nothing much.
can we use the same Git in our Windows command prompt?
Yeah. If you install, then you can use it.
Okay. After installing, I can use it through my Git Bash, but I'm not able to use through Windows command prompt.
If you install Git Bash, it will enable the command also from the Windows. You can see this.
Yeah.
I install Git Bash. I'm able to run the command.
Okay.
So, but it is more flexible for me having some colors. I can increase, I can decrease like that.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Thanks.
Okay. Sai, Anudeep, Iswar, Kaja.
Good morning, Shiva.
Yeah, good morning.
Shiva, this Git Bash sessions, which section you have covered? Git Bash commands and this all.
I don't remember which session I covered. It is a simple installation. You don't need to worry.
Okay. Okay. And one more thing, this VS Code and Git Bash you have integrated, right? Means connection and this all. So when this session is covered, is it covered or we have to do?
There is no integration actually. So I just wrote the code here. I just
Okay.
went to that directory and running the commands. There is no integration.
Okay.
So
Okay.
do you think there is an integration? I'm writing something somewhere. No need to
Okay.
use VS Code also. Just use Notepad or Notepad++.
Okay.
Okay. Just go to the directory and run the commands. That's it.
Okay. Okay. So Git is covered recently only. The Git Bash, when it covered? When you covered Git Bash?
There is nothing to cover in Git Bash. It is a simple software.
Okay.
Okay. When I covered, I don't know. Just go through the sessions. This is not at all, I mean, a tool. This is just a command line. That's it.
Yeah, I have little bit exposure on this, but getting confused to work on this one. Git Bash
Yeah.
and these
Then
all
refer the
commands.
first session. So this is just a command line like Windows CMD prompt. This is just a command line. That's it. Nothing else.
Okay. So for this, I need to install Git Bash, right, from the
Yeah.
internet.
Yes,
And
that's
what
it.
more I need to install? VS Code, Git Bash, and only these two.
Yes.
And Notepad plus also, right?
And that's your wish. I'm writing something in Notepad++. That's it.
Okay. 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 Thank you, Shiva.
Yeah. Most welcome. Bhavani.
Yeah, hi, good morning.
Yeah. Hi. Good morning.
So yesterday we cloned that repo, right? That time we got one default branch, right? Main. I
Yeah.
mean shell script. We
Yes.
cloned.
Yes.
So
Correct.
later we changed that to master, right? But when I pushed, I thought like that main branch also will be available, but it is not available.
No, that's the first time. By default, GitHub is telling the main is the main branch. So you can keep that as main. So it's just naming convention. Okay. For me, master is main. So I'm used to do this from long back. From me, master is main branch. For you, main itself is the main branch. That's it. No, don't worry about this naming. You can keep your name also as a main branch.
Okay, no need to create a master branch. We can go with the main also.
Yes, you can go with any name. You can keep Bhavani also as your main branch.
Okay, fine.
So that's just a naming convention. That's it. No, there is no much importance for it.
I thought like maybe we are changing the ownership to master. I mean, origin to master, I thought.
No, so just naming convention.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Ramesh Kanta.
Yes, hi Seva.
Yeah, hi.
Yesterday you had mentioned that there are few organizations they will go with private Git installations due to some security reasons, right?
Yes, correct.
I mean, in that case, are we responsible to manage the underlying infrastructure for that Git?
There will be generally SRE team, site
Okay.
reliability engineering. They will take care of that.
Okay. Yeah, sure. But I mean that could be, I think, very rare cases, right? Only financial banks or any kind of financial.
Yeah, any company, if they want to keep their code inside their servers, then they will go with their installations. Just mostly companies will keep the code in their own servers. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Abhishek.
Hi, Shubh.
Yeah. Hi, Abhishek.
Actually, I have a doubt regarding this public repository. So when we are selecting public repo, right?
Yeah.
Will others only have, when we create public repo, will others have only read access, or they can also push the code into this?
No, only read access. So that is why here, this is the server. Have I configured any user here?
No.
No, but still I'm able to pull, right? So this is the read, but I cannot push it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, if you want to push, again, you need to prove your authentication. So it will ask username and password.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sukumar.
Hi, Shiva. Good morning.
Yeah, hi, good morning.
Yeah, I have a request regarding the session title, like recorded sessions title. If you want to check the before sessions, like we completed Git or Linux or something like.
I will add the description from today.
It is more confused to check something like we want a Linux session, or we go further. We have so many sessions, right?
Yeah, I'll add the descriptions.
So if I want a Jenkins session, it will more comfortable if you add the title.
Yeah, so I'll add the description. I'll add the title also. And I request some of you, if some of you are daily practicing, I just request from you at what time I discussed what topic. For example, today we discussed at 45 minutes and then 34 seconds. So here we started variables. And like 30th, so like this, we started shell script. Okay. Can someone of you give me, like whoever is practicing daily like that, so that I will add the YouTube chapters also.
Okay.
Okay, you got it?
Thank you very much. It is very comfortable to us to practice.
Yeah, but I need this from you guys, because I cannot open the recording. I cannot watch it again. So maybe a lot of you guys are opening the recording and watching again, right? So if you just send me that in a Slack message, I will update in the chat. I will update in the video. Got it?
Okay. Okay,
Just
okay.
send me a
From
message.
onwards, okay. Further videos, can you change the titles?
Yeah, I'll change the titles. I will add the description also. And I'm asking this help from you guys. Because you are opening the recording and you can note this time, right? At what minute, what second I discussed the topic. You got it? YouTube
Okay,
chapters.
Yeah.
For example, this is a video. You can see this is the chapters. These are the chapters. At 4th minute, I started scripting. At 6th minute, we discussed about log files. Something like this.
Okay.
Okay. So that you can just hover the mouse on this, then we discussed like that. That is also very useful. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if some of you can
Thank you
hear
very
me,
much.
that is very good. Yeah. Most welcome.
Yeah.
Ashrita. Ashrita. You can unmute. Ashrita. Okay. So if you guys don't have any questions, yeah, answered everything.
Hi, Shiva.
Yes.
Yeah, one more last question from us. Praveen Kottubali.
Yeah, yes.
Shiva, we discussed about arrays, right? In
Yeah,
arrays,
correct.
we given some values like 3 values. So Ramesh, Suresh, and Sachin. So can't we prompt? We cannot use prompt for these values to provide.
Generally, we don't get array values from the prompting. I never tried, but you can try.
Oh, okay.
Okay, just give like this. Ideally, it should come. So theoretically, it should come.
If possible or not, just
Yeah. So generally, you don't give array values from that. So tomorrow I'll show you how something as part of loops, how you get the multiple values. Generally, I'll show you tomorrow. Okay. You can also try giving the value as array from prompting.
Okay.
Just enter this one. That's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Most welcome. So that's all for today. Have a nice day. See you in tomorrow's session. You can connect evening query session if you have still some questions. Bye-bye. See you.